Are you frustrating about bugs or features that you would like to see in Hello Kitty Island Adventure, but you do not have time to read the whole Discord to see what is worked on? Don't worry, because I'm here and I'm reading the Discord weekly for you and making a short list of what is important that has been said in the official Discord by the developers of Hello Kitty Island Adventure. So let's go! A feedback by Sweetie Pie that says, an event centered on unique storylines. How cute would it be to have an event storyline where you can choose to be the villain or good guy? And Chelsea said, we tried to do a good evil thing for Imagination Celebration, but it got nixed by Sanrio because they didn't want any of their characters to be associated with evil, even if they were just all playing pretend. But if the request is just for a storyline that has more elements of player choice involved, that's definitely something we can consider. A feedback by Oyevi Didme that says, make the Imagination Cafe items and recipe giftable. And Jessie said, I think anything that's from the Creation Station or Chef Station defaults to locked because it can affect progression, versus other food station recipes are all discoverable, so we don't get any progression on them. A feedback by Nicole Rita, a quest to make Rainbow Reef pretty again. And Jessie said, Hanky Don's bestie quest will have something tangential to do with this. Cute, so we will repair some of the things underwater. That's nice. People were not happy that Nuts and Coco are now only in summer and winter, and Chelsea explained, it's to smooth the transition between the initial 5 and Poron. Going from everything available to Poron taking a year is a bad difficulty curve. Making Coco and Nuts seasonal means it goes from available to a 3-month max wait to Poron, which is better than having everything and waiting a whole year. And then, you shouldn't need to complete events at all. Poron just requires one piece from each event, which is often achievable on the very first day of participating in an event. There's also the fallback of multiplayer, so multiple ways to achieve the goal. I'm sorry, neither of those are fitting your playstyle. Visitors are a self-enforcing loop, so the more you invest in them, the more story and visitor you can get. But we're intentionally left out of main progression for the game for the most part. I think you have to get Dear Daniel, so no, you don't need to get them to progress the Island Spirit storyline, for example. I think the perspective you're seeing is from the folks for whom, if something is there, they want to be able to complete it. The multiplayer clothing gifting is considered to be the cheat to bypass waiting a year for the event to come back around. It already takes away 70% of the intended duration for players to get all clothes, and we think that's already quite generous. And then Chelsea said, capitalism strikes again. Honestly though, there are many cozy games when things take a year. Animal Crossing has real-time seasons, for example, that you need to reach to complete your collection, so we really don't think it's off-genre or uncozy to continue to have rewarding things for folks to do after a year of play. If folks can't get everything in 3 months, then there's nothing for them to look forward to, no reason to keep playing, no value in getting a new event they haven't seen before. We have to balance that against folks who may not be able to log in as frequently or go on breaks. It was a sarcasm. Capitalism and the fact that we have to make money creates an inherent tension between a fantastic cozy experience and the realities of our studio being able to keep making this game. It's a super unfortunate reality that I deeply empathize with. Jessie said, we come out with new areas, main storyline quest, new main characters, and new minigames and mechanics as often as our currently sized dev team is able. If we could put more into them into each update, we would, but we can't. And many players have gotten to the point after 15 months of play that they're all caught up to the release content and collections, so anything we release will feel time-gated just because there's little else for those players to do in the meantime. There's not much we can do about that, and the core mechanics of the game, like gifting limits and RNG aspect for visitors, are not going to change. We've been adjusting the balance of things as we go, but for the most part, this is the game working as intended. It is just not possible for us to create compelling content at the same pace that some folks are able to consume it. And if you want to know more about the ins and outs of Sunblink and how it works actually with their small team and everything, I highly encourage you to check out the interview I did with Chelsea, linked somewhere up there. And And I've lost a bow. No. By the way, do you like my Kurumi outfit? I'm filming this on Halloween, so I thought it would be nice for her to celebrate Kurumi's birthday with this outfit. And this is very cool. So, okay, back to, yes, check out the interview with Chelsea. A feedback by Samantha that says bow blossom flower crown disappointing. When I made a flower crown with a bow blossom, I was so excited and expected multiple bows, but it was a bit disappointing when I see it was just one. And Chelsea said, this might have been a Sanrio thing. I'll ask the art team. Yep, confirmed this is a Sanrio restriction due to it being Hello Kitty's bow. They don't want multiples to confuse the silhouette. And then a lot of persons are asking to be able to see the Hello Kitty collectible cards that we found around the island to be able to be hung or do something with it. And we cannot do anything else than watching them in the collection. And Chelsea said, a lot of this was due to Sanrio restriction. They are very concerned about how all the art is made available to folks, unfortunately. When we were hoping to get permission for them to be placeable / interactable, there seemed to be a lot of awareness around how big the image would be, any dates associated with them, copyright indicator of them. The current implementation was one with the fewest hurdles. I'll bring it up again, the desired placeability though, and double check if there's any wiggle room, but I wouldn't get hopes up. A feedback by Miu that says pop up when someone uses a bouquet on our island. And apparently is that if you ask somebody on Discord, can you use the friendship bouquet so I can gift people again, you do not see when it's been done and you have to ask back, have you used it, can I gift people again? So if there was a pop-up, that would be so much more interesting. And Chelsea said, I'd post this one to the UX channel and escalate. Great idea. A feedback by Carter that says ability to toggle residents visitor outfits, and I guess not through talking to them. And Chelsea said, I'm trying to imagine how we do this, but I like the idea of making it simpler / not requiring going to every individual. I see if the UX folks have any idea. What's on the roadmap right now? Backpack tab should go back to being unduped in 2.1. That is, if there's a specific tab for something already, it won't appear in the catch-all backpack. We're rolling out explicit cancel on some screen in 2.1 and 2.2, where clicking outside the screen won't close it, but will instead prompt you if you want to close it. This was actually mainly intended for early game avatar customizer, but I think composer and trading are a clear example of where folks can be dealing with tons of items and the pain is real if you accidentally click out. So I'll try to make sure those make it for 2.2. We've known that folks want a more explicit trade screen for ages, but unfortunately it just hasn't been able to take precedence over some of the other inventory improvement UX work. Something like a log seems like lower hanging fruit, but would likely come with some caveat. Example, it wouldn't show you anything beyond the session you were in. In terms of communication, you know that weird bubble icon that's in an item's info view that was originally intended to be the way that players would communicate what they needed. However, we don't think that it's been utilized much, if at all. So you might be back to the drawing board on that. Actually, if you do up and X, which was actually the way to go to the map before, now you just go that and show the bubble of, I think, Batsmaru's box. So this is definitely something that we've been using now because they switched the control on the map and the backpack. A feedback that says visitor outfit. Unfortunately, because of the body diversity for visitors, each outfit has been individually handcrafted for many different models, and it winds up being incredibly expensive. At this point, we just don't feel the additional engagement / aesthetics are worth the art cost. And Nyanani said, if we can get multiple outfits for each, could we at least get some unique colors? And Chelsea said, that's a cool idea. Let me float it by the art team. So I guess like different coloring of the basic visitor like tourist outfit. I think it's so ugly in yellow and orange and green. So maybe if there was a pastel version, it would be cuter. That's a great idea, I guess. A feedback that says friendship quest with 2 companions. And Chelsea said, so like you'd want to build up the friendship between Kuromi and My Melody, for instance, by companioning with both of them and doing special quests with both of them. And Sweetie Pie said yes. Chelsea said, it's very intriguing. We'd probably only be able to do it for a few specific pairs, but having little quest series that unlock later in the game after two-person companion mode would definitely be a fun way to mix things up. So good idea, Sweetie Pie. Clarification on fertilizer. Cookie-chan says, so I usually fertilize before I water. So I fert, the flower blooms, I pluck, I fert again. Is that double fert or it counts as one? And Chelsea said, counts as 2 for pattern making and 1 for spawn boosting. Spawn boosting is basically a true-false boolean versus the pattern triggers happen on fertilization. Sometimes you don't see it right away when you fertilize and you need to come out and back again to see it fertilize, like if it turned pattern. But apparently if you fertilized at reset, you have a chance of having stuff. But if you get 2 fertilized a day, you get 2 chances of a pattern. That's good to know. I feel that I was waiting for my ultimate flower guide because they keep making changes to flowers and it's been quite stable for a while, I guess. But now we have also effects and not only patterns. So maybe. A feedback that says double pattern flowers by Nicole Rita. Basically, she asked if we could combine patterns and effects like the new iridescent together with an ombre, for example. And Chelsea said, we thought about this for so long, and it was actually the way the system was originally designed. At the end of the day, it added another combinatory element that would have ballooned flowers into the hundreds of thousands plus of possibilities category. So we did make a conscious decision not to do it this way, not just for simplicity's sake. It was a lot to display on info card and whatnot, but also because some effect plus pattern combos just didn't quite look different enough. Iridescent white plus yellow striped petunia looked almost undifferentiable from iridescent white plus lime striped, for example. And we wanted to make sure that if we were going to have the combos available, they were at least almost always clear and stand out. I feel you though. There are certain hybrids where I desperately wanted to make them shiny iridescent. It was definitely a decision we agonized over. Chelsea said, there are not enough crates to fully unlock all the cabins in the main game environment, the ones you find around the island, but they're constantly given out as part of reward calendars, day of the week gifts from My Melody, and a weekly quest rewards. So you can continue to collect them as you play and as we release additional areas to the game. Phoebe said there should be 25 new crates in 2.1 and I think I only found 23. So I think I counted 20 when I flew and 3 in a chest. So maybe there's 2 more somewhere. A feedback by Adri that says, please make past event clothing available again. I touch traded this clothes a few months ago and now I'm unable to buy them. So if you had the items at some point but gifted them away, you can now not buy them again and because they're locked. And Chelsea said, yep, we've been looking at a new way of checking the has owned flag so that in the future, if you don't have one in your inventory or on a null or in a cabin, the ability to purchase will be unlocked again. I don't know what release is going to make it into as 2.2 is already quite tight. That's good to know. Oh, something super cool because sometimes I cannot get the person to come with me if they have an exclamation point on top of it because I don't want to start their quest now. And so, Citizen said, there is sometimes a way around it. When I don't want to do a quest yet, but I need a character to companion with me, I go to a photo op, ask for them, and then dismiss them. If the quest is not in the biome the photo op is, then you can ask them to companion with you. Doesn't work on Keropi and Kuromi though. Interesting. I need to definitely try that in the future. A heads up by Phoebe that says Hello Kitty Island Adventure has won the award for Best Mobile Game at the 16th Unity Award. Thank you so much for the Hello Kitty Island Adventure players for your love and support as we continue to grow both our game and our community. So this game has only been released on a tiny, small platform that no one has heard of and it won so many awards already. This is insane. I'm so happy. When it comes out on all platforms, it's already been multi-awarded. How it is said? I'm not sure how you say that, but won so many awards for being released to the main public, so that's amazing. And if you're also trying to do the quest with all the bug furniture, then you should check out this trick by Essex Shoe. Not sure if it's a known trick or trick at all, but critters respond faster if you go in and out of a cabin / nature preserve / dance hall. So basically, I think also coming through mailbox triggers that, so it's actually when you respawn into the biome, the critters respond, so it's easier to find them. And here's a few bugs that were fixed in the 2.1 update. So now we should only find 20 bubbles per day, so 4 groups of 5. And if you did not get the first batch of collectible cards, they should come at the first reset after the update. Mocha can no longer reach us 6 stars. There's a fix for the flower power quest, the zipline adventure. NPCs can still be interacted with while bestie quests are active. So if you were struggling to make those super long quests for bestie quests, now the characters are not blocked anymore. There's so many different things. I'm not going to read it all, but I will put them all on screen so you can go read this. And yes, so many different small issues. Quality of life updates. Players can now hold to increase material to be used in the composter. This is amazing. Yes, this should make it a lot easier for everyone to make fertilizer. Hold down any compostable material until you reach the number that you want to compost. And the number of flowers for gargantua and garden goals should now be displayed when viewing the quest. So you had the displayed, I think, for making the fertilizer, but not the flowers, and so now it's visible. So, thank you for staying for this news. Actually, it was shorter than the ones, even though it was 10 days since my last one. So, I think this is super useful that I'm doing that. A couple of news back, I asked you guys if you liked it, the format that I'm doing the news review, or if you wanted more gameplay footage. We've filmed some that we can add here and there that are just generic footage that we can reuse here and there. And I think that in the last one I tried to illustrate more what we were talking about without having non-stop footage, and it did not take up too much of my time and my editor's time, so I think we might continue that way. I think it will be cool. Keep giving me feedback on things that you like or don't like on my channel, on my formats, on anything. I totally accept any kind of criticism, especially if it's constructive, on how I can serve you better, because this channel is for you guys and I totally want to make it the best possible service to you. So thank you so much for being such avid watchers on my channel. If you're not subscribed though, please go subscribe, because I release daily videos and I would love to have you here for the whole journey. And if you want to learn about everything else that is new in 2.1, click on this playlist. Bye bye!